Well, good evening. Yes, I said good evening. I thought we'd have a lie-in this week. I tell a lie, it's all because of tide times. The tide was right down on the far south coast, off the end of the country basically. And although it's only 3.5 hours, I really didn't fancy a drive down there. So I've come northeast and I'm back up in Northumberland, to a place I haven't been before. It is 2 hours before sunset. Not convinced we're going to get anything, and I have no idea what I'm going to find when I get to my location. I'm parked up, maybe 3 minutes walk from where I need to be, and it's looking good because I've just seen another photographer turn up, so maybe there is some promising landscapes here, or seascapes, because you know me, it's got to be seascapes. The tide and sunset coincide, so we're 2 hours before sunset, 2 hours before high tide. That gives me a good hour to have a scout around, see what's going on, and then an hour to start shooting, and hopefully we'll get some colour in the sky, but I'm not convinced. I know you're not going to really see it, but there's a bit of cloud, a lot lighter out over the water, and it was looking clear in the opposite direction, which is inland. So you never know. Right, let's go see what we can find. Hey, it's looking rather nice. Not too many people about, which is how we like it. And this is a place called the Needle, or the Needles, at Newbiggin by the sea, which I think is a really, really pretty name. I'm hoping that this is going to yield some rather nice rock formations. Seen a few images on the web. You can't get right down onto the rocks using Google Maps, but we shall see what we shall see. Tide is, I think it's 9 o'clock, and sunset is 20 past 9. High tide is around about the same time as sunset. So I'm quite liking the look of this. Let's say I've given myself a little bit of time to look around, see what I can find in terms of compositions. Looks like you have to be a bit of a mountain goat to walk out around here. Some lovely shapes in the rocks. We're not going to get any direct sunlight because, as I say, the sun is setting on the other side of the country. But I thought it might just be an interesting location. You get a bit of colour in the sky, that'll do. And sometimes, just by using the phone, I can pick out a composition. Kind of maybe makes a bit of a composition there. I'm not sure, but maybe it does. Maybe with the wide angle on. Well, I'm going to finish having a wander around because there's a lot more to see over the other side. Well, I've had a bit of a mosey, and the bit that I wanted to get to is this bit of land out here. But there is a sign, you might just be able to make it out, somewhere around there. Because you can only get to that at low tide. Now we're not strictly speaking at high tide, but we're certainly not at low tide. And having looked at the way to get down there, not convinced I need to be going down there right at this moment in time. It's a shame because there's a nice area over there that would make a lovely image, but it's not to be, so hey ho. So the second thing I've spotted is this area here, and it's obviously been put in as some sort of defence, but I love the way it's looking a bit ethereal with the water swishing in out of what I can only describe are rocks smothered in cement or tarmac. There's a whole wall of it made of the stuff behind me. Oh, let's go there. Well, I'm sticking with this composition to see if I can get an image that I like. I've been playing with the 6-stop filter because I wanted a little bit of the motion of the waves coming in over these rocks. But I'm not convinced that the 6-stop works. I kind of think it did. So I've now put the 10-stop on. I'm shooting at f11. I just tried an exposure at 25 seconds and it wasn't long enough. So I'm just letting it run on for a bit. I'm figuring about a minute and a half. So we have a real ethereal look to the water. It's like a mist over these huge rocks and boulders and things. I've changed the white balance to 10,000 kelvins, as always. It might stay colour, it might go mono, I don't know yet. And that's the main reason for changing the white balance to as close to daytime colour, natural daylight, as I can get. Now, let me just have a quick squiz at this. Yes, that works much better. So essentially, that is what we're looking at, composition-wise. We've got the rocks down here and the water swishing around. And I wanted a real moody, ethereal look. And that's what I've come out with. And this was the reason for putting the 10-stop on. I wanted to lose some of these clouds. Now that was, let me just have a look. Where are we? Oh, 122 minutes. So I'm just going to let that run for a little bit longer. Obviously, I choose to come here on a really calm day because that's a sensible thing to do. It wasn't meant to be this calm, but there is some quite nice light coming up there. I'm still debating whether it's going to light these clouds up here. You may just be able to make out about there's a lovely church, and that's actually picking up some quite nice sunlight. Now I'm not focused on it in this shot, it's in the background. It will be naturally out of focus, although I'm focused a third of the way into the image. There will be natural focus fall off to that, but it still kind of draws your eye through. And what I'm doing now is, that's kind of what we're going for. We've got a curve, where are we? You can see my finger, coming around here, out here. The water keeps rolling over those, and in the background you've got the church. We've got some quite nice clouds. The only thing that's a bit iffy is this really dark bank of rocks, but that's how it is. You can see the difference in colour. You could if this would focus. But I'm quite liking that. That's the shot that I wanted, but I couldn't get the camera into the right position. But I quite like that as it is. Now I'm running a long exposure on this. I've got the 10-stop on. I've just popped the polarizer on. The first image I tried, I didn't have the polarizer on, so everything's kind of milky, which is fab. I like that. But I've popped the polarizer on just to take some glare off this area down here, in the hope that it will show the rocks through, which I think it does. Whether it'll work as an image, I don't know. Beauty of digital? You can just try and find out. Light is getting really strong over there, but it's not casting any colour. over here. Hey ho, I don't care, I'm at the coast, you know. Now the exposure I did with the totally milky water was 190.8 seconds, I believe it was. I've put the polarizer on, so I'm guessing I'm going to need just a little bit longer. And I did get some nice movement in the clouds. I think the image is going to stay colour rather than being a mono. And again, this won't pick it up, but that church the windows on the church are picking the light up really nicely. Quite a nice little spot, this. I'm quite impressed. Oh, it's actually turning into a really nice evening. Some lovely, lovely clouds appearing up there. I've just moved compositions again slightly. It's a cracking little spot, this. Some really nice compositions to be had. And it's one of those places that's going to change probably every time you come here, dependent on how lively the tide's being. But I'm shooting today primarily on the 10-20. I generally prefer the 17-55. I've never really gelled with the 10-20. Look at that. The sea's this way though. But I'm liking it today. It's giving me nice lot of foreground, which is really where the interest is, other than that there cloud up there. So I've dropped down to F11. I've put the ISO at 160 just to, I know it sounds daft, speed up the long exposure. And currently, I'm just shooting this bit of rock going out up to those clouds, and I'm shooting in portrait orientation. Every now and then we get a wave come in. We're at just about 9 o'clock, and I think we're at about high tide now. And there is just a hint of colour in the sky. The light has gone off the church over there. But yeah, I really like this spot. Now I've done a shot here with the 6-stop. I've just popped the 10-stop in, so I've altered the white balance again. The 6-stop I was at 13 seconds. I did a 20-second, it was a bit too long. Dropped it down to 13, absolutely bob on. One of the really good things about doing long exposure is it gives you time to just sit and take in the absolutely glorious evening. Although admittedly with me it's normally the morning. Bit of a novelty coming out for sunset. A bit strange, but definitely worthwhile. It's so mild and there's a breeze, but it's warm. But just sitting and watching the sunset develop, the calm to start you off on a new week. Wonderful. Hope you like the images. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you all again next Sunday. Bye for now.